Last year, the average UK driver spent $1,147 on unexpected car repairs. Not servicing, not tires, not the MOT work they knew was coming. Unexpected. And if you drive a BMW, an Audi, or a modern Land Rover, that number is not an average, it is a floor. The number one cause, according to the AA, was not mechanical failure. It was electronics, sensors, control modules, software, problems that a main dealer charges $130 just to look at before touching a single component. There is a window in automotive history when build quality peaked and that complexity had not yet arrived. 3 cars from that window are still findable in the UK right now. First, the engine that has done 500,000 miles on 6 continents for 30 years without drama. Second, the luxury car that costs less per year than a Netflix subscription and a tank of fuel. Third, the sports car everyone calls unreliable. The data says the opposite. And it has one specific component, something every modern replacement swapped for a $900 module, that I will get to. Stay there. Car 1, Toyota Land Cruiser 80 Series, 1990-1997. Here is the diagnostic fee problem made concrete. A modern Land Rover Discovery Sport develops a fault, and it will. A main dealer charges between $130 and $180 just to read the fault codes, not parts, not labor, just to connect a laptop and tell you what the computer thinks is wrong, which may or may not describe what is actually wrong. That fee exists because modern vehicles require manufacturer-specific tools that independent garages cannot justify owning. The work flows to main dealers, at main dealer rates, for problems that repeat. The Toyota Land Cruiser 80 Series does not have this problem because it does not have the systems that create it. The engine is the 1HZ, a 4.2-liter naturally aspirated inline-6 diesel. No turbo, no common rail, a mechanical injection pump and a timing chain. When you remove the turbo from a diesel, you remove the component behind most of those $800 to $2,000 repair bills that modern diesel owners treat as routine. No turbo to fail, no DPF to block. You are not a hostage to the dealer because you are not in their system. There are 2 things that go wrong on a maintained 1HZ. Head gasket on overheated examples, identifiable by compression test before purchase. Water pump under 80,000 parts. 2 items, 500,000 miles of proven service life. A 3-year-old midsize SUV at 28,000 loses roughly $2,400 a year in depreciation before a single repair. When an ECU fails on a modern Discovery out of warranty, the quote frequently exceeds what the car is worth. It is not worth fixing, it is a disposable asset dressed as a premium purchase. A $14,000 80 Series has already hit its floor. It does not go down from here. But the Land Cruiser is loud, industrial, heavy. If you want that reliability in something that does not feel like a construction vehicle, and you also want the cheapest luxury experience currently available in the UK, you need Car 2. And while we are there, I will show you the single biggest lie in modern steering systems. That is Car 3. Keep that open. Car 2, Mercedes-Benz W124, 1985-1997. The case for the W124 is not nostalgia, it is engineering documentation. To understand it, you first need to understand what replaced it. On a 2024 C-Class, you cannot swap a headlight without coding it to the car. This is called parts pairing. The car is programmed to reject its own components unless the manufacturer's system authorizes them. The headlight works perfectly. The car refuses to accept it. Think of it like a house that rejects a new light bulb unless you pay the original builder a permission fee. Every time. That is not a fault. That is the revenue model. A faulty wing mirror motor on the same car can trigger faults across 3 separate control units because they share a data bus. You fix the mirror. The fault codes stay. Another $130 to clear a record the system created. The W124 has none of this. Conventional wiring, no shared data bus. Components that behave like components, not nodes in a network designed to route money through a main dealer. Mercedes engineered the W124 to a 20-year lifespan, not as a marketing claim, as a documented brief, built into material specs, corrosion protection, and powertrain tolerances. The result is a car that achieves it. W124s with 300,000 and 400,000 miles on the original engine are not curiosities, they are the expected outcome. When a W124 fails, it tells you what failed. The part is available. The repair is proportionate. On a 2018 C-Class with an air suspension fault and gearbox software issues, that sentence cannot be written. The repair exceeds the value. It is not worth fixing. That is a disposable asset. That is the car those engineers built to replace the W124. The badge carries the same name. The engineering brief does not. Last repair bill. Find the line that says diagnostic fee or labor, investigation. Drop the number in the comments. My guess is the average in that section will be over $150. Now car 3, the one everyone gets wrong. Mazda MX-5 NB, 1998-2005. A sports car on a reliability list. Here is why it belongs. The NB's power steering is hydraulic, fluid, a piston, the wheel turns. When it fails, rarely, a remanufactured rack costs $120. 3 hours at an independent, it works. On the current ND generation MX-5, the steering is electrically assisted. The module costs $600 to $900 to replace. Requires recalibration after fitting. Introduces failure modes, motor seizure, sensor drift, software fault, that the hydraulic system cannot have by design. A $900 computer for a $120 job. That is not an upgrade. That is a planned failure point with a price tag. The rest of the car follows the same logic. Simple 4-cylinder engine, manual gearbox. Cables and levers, nothing paired, nothing networked, nothing requiring a dealer's permission to function. Under $1,500 a year, all in, less than 3 months of finance payments on a new SUV. For a car that communicates in a way no modern equivalent under $30,000 does, because modern equivalents weigh 400 kilograms more and route every input through a system that decides whether to honor it. The MX-5 NB does not ask permission. 30 years of evidence says that is enough. The buying rule. Before the manifesto. One trap that catches people who find the right car and still lose. Every car on this list has a version of itself that has the shape and the badge but not the history. A full documented service trail is the only way to know which version you are buying. The service history is not just paper, it is your insurance policy against the disposable economy. No history, no deal. The car industry spent 2 decades telling you that progress means more features, more screens, more systems. They were not wrong that it is progress. They were wrong to hide the cost. More systems mean more failure points. More failure points mean more repair events. More repair events in cars that need proprietary tools mean more money going to main dealers for problems the previous generation of cars could not have because it was not built with systems that could fail that way. The loophole is not anti-technology. It is the recognition that complexity and reliability diverge. That past a certain point, and car engineering crossed it around 2005, sophistication starts costing more than it gives. Buy simple. Buy repairable. Buy the car that was engineered to last. Before lasting stopped being the brief. You found the loophole. Now stop financing the scam. Drop your make, model, year, and current mileage in the comments. Because the car industry is not even the worst example of this. Laptops, appliances, audio equipment. Every major category has the same window and the same trap. In some of those categories, manufacturers went further than car companies ever dared. Next video, I am opening one of them up. It is worse than this.